Let's get right back to that breaking news right now as Logan Hetherington is facing a Lee County judge again. Expected to take a plea deal, but we're not exactly sure right now. Let's listen in.
I'm angry, but I'm a mother. And I don't see an evil man when I look at Logan.
Sure. Logan Hetherington was just fingerprinted. Really a very emotional scene that we all just watched play out right there. Logan Hetherington, 20-year-old man, has been given a youthful offender sentence for hitting and killing 8-year-old Layla Aiken at her Cape Coral bus stop last March. We just heard a really impactful victim statement from Layla's mother, Kathleen Redman, as she explained just the horrific moment where she saw Layla smile as she walked out her door towards her bus stop, and then 15 minutes later had no idea that her life was about to end. But the strongest part of that statement that really struck me was she said it's easier to hate Logan for what he did, but that she doesn't, because she doesn't see evil in his eyes. She sees a scared, at the time, teenager. Now he's 20 years old. And that's why the judge said that he accepted this youthful offender sentence, because of, in large part, those victim impact statements.
Yeah, one of the things that I also took to heart and really heard from was when her grandmother was talking and saying she was there speaking for the boys who were 9 at the time, saw all of this happen, saw their little sister get hit by a truck, heard the sounds of the truck crushing their sister, saying that the boys wanted to know who was the man who hurt their little sister, and wanted that man to know that their hearts were broken and that they are broken because of what had happened there. So again, as Nate had mentioned, just a very emotional day in court, but because of Layla Aiken's family and those, let's go now actually to outside of the courtroom where we are, Shannon Clow is trying to get some comments from family as they walk out.
So Logan's attorney just walked past. Our reporters did not answer any questions, as it appears nobody from the Hetherington family will. As you see them all wait there at the elevator trying to get away. I guess we should probably break down exactly what happened with this youthful offender sentence as we wait for Layla's family to come outside of the courtroom. Logan Hetherington will serve 24 months in prison, followed by 24 months of essentially house arrest. It's called community control, followed by 24 months of probation. There will also be other punishments like a year of a suspended license, 120 hours of community service. As again, we're waiting for the family of Layla Aiken to step outside the courtroom. As soon as that happens, we will bring you out there live. But as you heard Layla say, or Layla's mother say, this is really something that has impacted our community way too much. Not only did Layla Aiken get hit and killed, Alana Tamplin from North Fort Myers, a 12-year-old girl, was hit and killed in a hit-and-run accident. And then as recently as last month, Alana Staiano, just 14 years old, killed in North Fort Myers. As we look at pictures of 8-year-old Layla Aiken, Amanda, just a really emotional day right now.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, the judge basically saying that he's not okay with this plea, that he would rather go with a different route because of the way that the family presented themselves, and they care for that, is why he's letting them accept that plea. Layla Aiken's family is walking out right now.
Yeah, my producer's telling me that Layla's mom just walked out. You see her grandmother walk out right here.
Her stepmother.
Her stepmother. It appears nobody is answering questions right now, as our NBC2 anchor Peter Bush has been all over this story from the beginning. Really, everyone's just kind of waiting to see exactly what comes next in this case. Judge Robert Branning did insist that Logan Hetherington will be a convicted felon. The state, as part of the youthful offender sentence, that would not have been part of it, but the judge insisted. And the reason why Logan Hetherington is available for this youthful offender sentence is because the felony was committed before his 21st birthday. He does not have a criminal record. This is not a capital charge, and it does include the plea of guilt, which Layla's mom, Kathleen, said really that's what they wanted. Such a tough last year for them, essentially. This happened last March. And I guess you get some sort of closure here. So All right, NBC2 is all over breaking news right now. Judge Bruce Kyle is back in a Lee County courtroom as the man who's been convicted of second-degree murder in the death of Teresa Sievers is about to be sentenced.
Yeah, he just took a break and he is going to hand down that sentence any moment. Let's go ahead and listen into what's happening.
Rogers pretty much has been emotionless throughout a lot of this trial and throughout this sentencing, except for the moment when his brother was talking about their upbringing together. So it will be interesting. Hopefully we'll be able to see the moment when they can embrace here, but obviously a very emotional day in court. We heard from Teresa Sievers' mother talking about the impact that his actions have had on their family as well as the community in Southwest Florida and really around the world as we all lost a beloved doctor.
And Teresa Sievers' mother did ask for the maximum punishment, which was a life sentence in prison, being that this is a second-degree murder charge. And Nate, he was sentenced as, remind me what this is.
It's a PRR. It was the first thing that we heard Judge Bruce Kyle say. It's a prison release reoffender, so that dates back to previous crimes that he committed while he was living in Missouri, and that's also where he met Curtis Wright, who accepted a 25-year plea deal in this case, although he's yet to be sentenced. But those two met while they were serving time together, and then, unfortunately, they used that connection to come together to help kill Teresa Sievers. Although Wright has admitted to actually swinging the hammer, Rogers, on the other hand, has pretty much been found guilty of not doing anything to stop the crime, although he knew it was happening.
And while Curtis Wayne Wright did agree to a 25-year prison sentence in exchange for his testimony, he still needs to be sentenced. So that is still coming. Jimmy Ray Rogers, the first of the three men involved in this killing, who has been sentenced right now, getting fingerprinted. Of course, stick with NBC2 throughout this process. Again, Jacqueline Beavis was inside the courtroom for this sentencing. She will have a lot more information as she's been covering this case since the very beginning.
Yeah, we still have, of course, next month, Mark Sievers, the husband, is going to be officially sentenced. We know that the jury just a couple days ago recommended the death penalty for him. Judge Bruce Kyle will have the final say in that coming up in a hearing on January 9th. And then as of right now, the following month, Curtis Wright, the final man, kind of the final domino in this case, he'll be sentenced coming up in February. So NBC2 will certainly continue watching this live feed, and if there's anything notable that happens, we will bring you back there live as soon as we can. All right, we have some breaking news right now at 12:42. Cape Coral Police Sergeant Patrick O'Grady is taking questions from NBC2's Joe Petrello about a shooting on Northwest 18th Avenue that put 4 schools on lockdown, including Mariner Middle and Mariner High Schools. We'll send it out to Joe Petrello for this live interview right now. Joe. Governor Ron DeSantis taking some questions right now as he has issued a safer at home order across all of Southeast Florida. This includes 4 counties, Miami-Dade, Broward, Monroe, and Palm Beach counties. And it's interesting because some of those counties have been hit really hard, but others haven't. For example, Miami-Dade, 1,472 cases, Broward over 1,000 as well, but Monroe County just 23 cases. So, of course, this is really close to Southwest Florida, and you have to think, is something like that coming here soon?
Well, and one of the things to also look at is the amount of population in each of these counties based on how many actually have the virus. But another thing, and I know a lot of people are going to be asking questions about this, is what is an essential business? What has to close? Well, we heard in the press conference that essentially it's going to be up to the counties. They're going to be following these guidelines set by Governor Ron DeSantis and following a rubric, but they are going to have different levels of what is going to be closed and what's not. So you have to find that information out from county leaders.
Yeah, a lot of things just happened in that press conference. The governor making it so that state workers can pretty much unretire, where previously they would have had to wait 6 months to do that. He talked about a new 5-minute test that he's working to get to the state of Florida. Lots of things that NBC2 is breaking down, and it's all coming up in 17 minutes on your news at 11 o'clock. So make sure you join us then. Yeah, listen, these numbers are about to skyrocket. That's just frankly what's about to happen. We just told you to begin the show that the head of Lee Health is projecting in the next week the number of cases in Lee County is going to double. That's why this press conference is happening. That's why you're being asked to stay at home. Again, you can still go out to exercise. You can still boat. You can go for a run. Your pet is considered essential, so you can do a lot of the things you need to do, but don't have your friends over for a card game or a movie night. Right now, we need to take care of each other.
We can add it or not add it as we see fit. Thank you.
There you have it. Your governor is no longer asking you. He is telling you do not leave your home unless it is for an essential reason. For example, gas, of course, a medical reason, or food. The governor there saying that any reason that has to do with taking care of your pets is considered essential. He did not use the words stay-at-home order. He said to limit your movement for any reason that is not essential. It goes into effect tomorrow at midnight, and it should last 30 days. Breaking news, Lee County Sheriff Carmine Marcino is speaking right now on an animal cruelty case. So he's answering some questions right now. You see State Attorney Amira Fox to his right, your left. Now, what we are confirming at this time, an 8-year-old mixed breed dog had a rope tied around his neck. Okay, and I'm being told that they're wrapping this up right now. So the dog had a rope tied around his neck so tight that it was actually embedded in his skin, and it had to be surgically removed. So we are learning Salvador Pabajal has been charged with animal cruelty in this case, but this is just one of a few cases that we've seen in the last couple of weeks.
Just over a week ago, we brought you now Deputy Chance, who we know that his mouth was completely taped shut. He was suffocating, he was dehydrated, and a woman called deputies to come help. That was just the latest case. Now, since then, we've seen the sheriff take a zero-tolerance policy on animal abuse. We've seen billboards put up across our county warning people not to do this. And this second case that we're seeing just within a week of Deputy Chance is really showing that zero-tolerance policy in place right now.
Yeah, and we all saw the pictures with Deputy Chance with the tape around his mouth. So this is definitely something we will continue to follow. NBC2's Megan Bragg is at that press conference, and we will bring you a live report as soon as we can.